Hi guys, are we playing? Yes, we are. Okay, you're probably all wondering, why hasn't she done a video in months and months and months? I'm not going to say sorry right now, but there has been like so much going on, that yeah, I've got an announcement to make to you guys. There's one or two people that already know, not very many. I haven't told hardly anybody because, excuse me a second, because it was just something that I didn't feel ready to speak about, so I say. But we'll go into that in a second. But I've got an exciting announcement, but I've also got some news that I've recently been diagnosed with something to do with this whole thing that I'm about to talk to you about, which isn't so good. So y'all, I'm gonna need your prayers big time. So where do I start? Okay, first of all, look, I've gone all pro, guys. I have a stand. I do like it. I was trying to do the eyebrow thing, but it's just not happening. So anyway, let's just go back. So I don't even know where to start. Let me just start by apologising to all of you that have been wondering where I am, to all of you that have sent me emails and all that sort of stuff. I've just been so like, you're going to know in a minute anyway. I'm just going to put it out there in a minute what's going on, my big announcement, why I haven't done a video in ages, and I hope that people can find it in their heart to understand that doing a video is like, it's not really easy. It takes time, and I never plan my videos. I just go blah blah blah, just talk about whatever comes to my mind. But it takes time. Then you got to upload it, and then you get so many like comments. And I used to like comment back to every single comment, but then you start getting more and more comments, and it just becomes a bit overwhelming. And then all the emails, it just becomes just so overwhelming, and it gets a bit overwhelming. And then you think, oh my goodness, can you still see me? Hold on, I'm sat on the floor. Hi guys, how you doing? Yeah, so, oh, this looks weird, doesn't it? I look like a little person. Hello, like a little tiny, anyway, yes. So going back to the whole purpose of where I've been. So I just wanted to say sorry, and I apologise. I've missed you all so much. Like, I miss talking to you all. I miss doing the videos. I do miss you all. You're all so lovely. But I just had to take some time out because I've had a lot going on. So I'll say my big announcement. First of all is that I am currently 19 weeks pregnant. I found out I was pregnant actually on my son's birthday, on Saturday the 2nd of February. So it's going back quite a while now. And to be honest, obviously, it's an absolute blessing. I am overjoyed to be pregnant. It is a blessing from Jesus. It is a blessing. And that's how I see it. I don't care what anyone says. I believe that pregnancy, babies, children are all blessings from God, Jesus. And you have to excuse me, I've had loads of bloods taken today because that's the other thing that's going on, which I'll get into that in a minute. But so I'm feeling a bit, they took a lot. But yeah, so that was all going on. And obviously, like, in the past, I know I've been blessed with children. I have children that are alive, that are well, that are healthy, that I'm totally grateful for. But in the past, I have suffered losses. In the first trimester, when I was many years ago, I actually suffered a miscarriage at 10 weeks and 4 days pregnant, which was very traumatic. I think I spoke about it on a video like ages ago because I was explaining why I went so off the rails and got into the whole drug scene a long time ago. I'm going way back. But it was that did it. It just pushed me over the edge, and I was suffering from mental health issues, which wasn't addressed to be in demonic attacks because I wasn't a Christian. I didn't know. I was uneducated. I didn't have a clue. So that was a big hit, and it was just emotionally and physically just a horrible thing to have to go through. But sadly, I've had 2 other losses, but they were earlier on, like 6 weeks, but they were still hard as well. So I wasn't going to be doing videos at like 6 weeks pregnant going, I'm pregnant, yay, because I didn't want to like announce anything. I'd not even announced this on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything. So this is the first social media platform that I'm actually announcing my pregnancy. I just don't feel ready to do the whole big Facebook announcement or the big Instagram, and I can't, guys. I just can't. I'm just, especially with now what I've been diagnosed with, but I'll get into that in a minute. But obviously, so that's the reason why. And I felt really rough for 4 months of my pregnancy. I felt sick. I was tired. I mean, beyond tired. It was like overwhelming, super tiredness. And you're just generally all the things that go with it, which I never complained about, because at the end of the day, it's all part of it and it is still a blessing. It's just something as women we have to go through, you know, we have to get through it. A lot of women can get to like 12 weeks and feel okay. I had to wait until I was 16 weeks and before the sickness kind of wore off. But it started to like rear its head again now. The other night I was up all night feeling so sick. But I'm not sure if that's to do with what I've been diagnosed with or not, but I think it was more like it did feel like the car sickness, kind of like morning sickness. So I think it's just something that I suffer with the whole way through. I'm not one of them that goes, oh, it's just the first 3 months and then yes, you'll be fine. No, I have it from the beginning to the end. It's wonderful. So basically, okay, so I'm pregnant. That's that. I'll show you my bump at the end of this. It is huge. I'm like 19 weeks and I look like about 30 weeks. It's massive. It's like, where did that come from? But it's all good. So anyway, now I'll go into what's going on with the whole situation now. So I had all that worry for the first couple of months, where I was told by a doctor at my doctor's surgery when I was 5 weeks, oh, well, you're 39 years old, so you're like such high risk of having a miscarriage. And she just like was just going on about my age and me having a miscarriage. And I sort of put the phone down and I was crying and I just felt so offended. And not only offended, but worried. She scared the life out of me. And I was like, oh no, you know, oh yeah, well, for the first 12 weeks, you know, you're at such a high risk and your age this and your age that. And I was just like, okay, oh, you know, and I didn't really know what to say. I just thought, no, you know, I'm going to leave this in Jesus's hands. He's blessed me with a child. You know, he wouldn't have blessed me with his child if it wasn't meant to be. He wouldn't just bless me with one and then rip it away from me, knowing how much I wanted this. He wouldn't do that. I say, if this was a blessing, that's how I kept looking at it. And I got through to 12 weeks. And then I hit 12 weeks and I had spotting. I don't want to go too much into it because this is a Christian channel. I don't really want to go into like blood and guts and gore. But I just started spotting. And every woman that knows that's been pregnant, that any sort of blood spotting, anything like that in pregnancy is not good. So obviously I thought the worst, I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh my goodness, it's a miscarriage. I ended up going up the hospital and I had to have an emergency scan, which showed the baby was okay, thank the Lord. And, you know, they couldn't really tell me why I was spotting or where it was coming from. They said, oh, these things just sometimes happen, but, you know, you're not dilating or nothing. Everything looks as it should at this stage. Nothing to worry about. Baby's fine, moving around. Everything looks great. So I was like, okay. Anyway, the spotting lasted for about a week. And then it just stopped. Really odd. Don't know what it was. And then I sort of started to settle and enjoy the pregnancy. I was like really loving every second of it. We had a gender scan when I was 16 weeks and we found out that I'm having a baby boy. Yay! So, yeah, I'm having a baby boy, guys. I'm really excited. But then, anyway, until this. I'm trying to stay positive, but basically around when I was about 11 weeks pregnant, so that's like nearly 3 months, so I became really, really itchy, like to the extent it was driving me crazy. It was keeping me awake at night. I was losing sleep. I was actually reduced to crying because I was so exhausted. I was so tired where I couldn't sleep. I'd like fall asleep for like an hour and a half, 2 hours max, and then I'd be waking up scratching like all over. I had this rash that came up everywhere. It was all over my legs, my arms, my belly, my chest, my back. And when I had my daughter, after having my liver transplant, I developed a thing called cholestasis of pregnancy, or obstetric cholestasis of pregnancy, I think is the actual technical word. I developed it though a lot later. I was like 34 weeks pregnant. I developed a thing called preeclampsia, which is something to do with your blood. I don't really know what it is, but it's something to do with your blood pressure goes through the roof. My ankles swelled up ridiculously, and my blood pressure was through the roof. And then I developed that at 30 weeks, and then at 34 weeks I was diagnosed with cholestasis of pregnancy. And at 35 weeks they got her out. They was like, no more, we're getting her out, and they induced me. So I had her early. I had her 4.5 weeks early. I got to 35 weeks in like 3 or 4 days. And the first symptoms of cholestasis of pregnancy is itching, severe itching. It's also, you get itchy like palms, and you get itchy soles of feet. But when I hit 11 weeks this time, I was getting itchy all over. It started on my belly, and then my eczema like flared up, and I was writing to Brother Denny. And I was like, what do I do? How do I help? What do I do with the eczema? Because I just assumed it was an eczema flare-up. And I've gone to the doctors several times. They was like, oh, it's eczema, and kept giving me all these lotions and potions and steroid creams. It wasn't doing nothing, or it did help for a little bit, and then when it would run out, it would flare up again, really bad. It was horrendous. And I started to realise that the itch was like different to that of an eczema itch. It was more like, the only way I can describe it is if you get sunburn and you end up with a prickly heat, I think you call it. And it's like a prickly itch. It's intense, and it was like that. And I kept saying, literally at night, it feels like there's 1,000 red ants in my bed all biting me. And it was just, you're like, oh. And I would cry. I would actually cry. I know that sounds so dramatic, but you're so exhausted, you're not sleeping. And it really affected me. So I've gone for about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 7 weeks of intense itching and hardly no sleep. So you can imagine what state I was in. But at first, I got concerned because I thought, no, this itching feels similar to that of what I had with my daughter. I thought, but surely it can't be that this early, because normally the condition doesn't start until much, much later. And I thought, no, I'm like, this was back when I was like 16 weeks, and I was like, it can't be. Anyway, I ended up going to the doctors, and they did my blood tests there and then when I told them my symptoms. And anyway, when I told them my symptoms, they did the blood tests there and then, and they literally did the blood test on the Friday. And obviously you got Saturday and Sunday, and that's the doctor's surgery, are closed those days. So normally you'd have to wait about a week for your blood results, but literally Monday morning, 9 a.m, ring goes my phone. It's a doctor's surgery, and I just knew. I was like, oh no, it's my blood results, it's my liver. It's that thing that I had with my daughter. It's my liver, that's all I kept thinking. And I had a few other signs which I don't really want to get onto on a video to do with stool colour, but my stools turned yellow. And I know that's TMI and it's gross, and I'm sorry if you don't want to hear it, turn off now. But the truth of it is if there's something wrong with your liver, your stools will go yellow. And that was happening. And it was always something I was told to like watch out for after my transplant. They was like, always check the whites of your eyes for like them turning yellow. Always check your stools if they turn yellow. Your urine, if it goes like really super dark, is all bad signs. And the whites of my eyes were fine, but the yellow stools, my urine was dark, the itching, it was all like bad signs. So Anyway, so I had the blood test on the Friday, like I said, and literally Monday morning at 9 a.m, it was the doctor ringing me saying, oh, so yeah, we've had your blood test results back. I'm not really happy with them. Your liver function's not good. There's some other things going on to do with your liver, and we're not really happy about it. Can we get you in again in a couple of days to repeat the bloods? I was like, yep, no problem. He said, I need to speak to like Birmingham Hospital where you had your transplant, because I need to like them to see these results and for them to explain them more to me, because he was just a GP. He wasn't 100% sure. He's just like, you know, this could be a case because you've had a transplant. These results could be normal for you. He says, but in a normal person, he said, these ain't normal. So I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll let you get hold of them in Birmingham then. So that's what he did. And he phoned me a few hours later and he was just like, oh, they want you to up your tacrolimus, which is a medication I take. It's an anti-rejection medication that I take. So they wanted me to up the dosage from 6 milligrams twice a day to 7 milligrams twice a day. I said, yeah, that's fine. He said, oh, and have your bloods repeated in a few days. And then you'll see the liver doctor at our local hospital, which is just literally there. It is like a 20-minute walk away. It's there. You can see it out of that window. He said, I want you to see the liver doctor there next week. He wants to see you. I said, yeah, fair enough, great. So I had a bunch of bloods done again. Then I had another bunch of bloods done. I thought, why not? He's got loads of blood tests to go by then. And anyway, last Wednesday, I went and saw the liver doctor here at my local hospital. I walked into the room. He has his computer on in front of him. I walked into the room. I was hoping I was just going to get like, oh yeah, your blood results have returned to normal now, but you know, we need to see you just to keep an eye on them. That's what I thought was going to happen. No, that didn't happen. He was just like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with you? Your liver bloods are all over the place. That is something you don't want to hear. I was like, okay, fine. Let's sit down and talk about this, you know, what's going on. And he was just going on. He said, right, so this. We're going to put you on low dosage steroids, which I want you to take 2 every morning. Which I said, and he said, you've got like so I've got mild rejection. That's what's going on right now. So I've had rejection before. Here comes the cat. Come and say hello. Here comes the other one. Yeah, look. So yeah, I've had mild rejection before, but in the past, and it's just a case of they just put you on these steroids, and that normally sorts it right out. So I know that like I'm on the right medication. I know that this will sort it out. But then when he said, oh, I'm going to put you on a medication for the itching, and I just knew, because I've been watching like a few YouTube videos and where women have been diagnosed with the same condition I had with my daughter, and they got put on this medication, which I never got put on medication with my daughter because I was already far enough for them to say, we're bringing you in to induce you. But obviously I'm so early at the moment, like if the baby was born now, he would not survive. So as soon as I'm putting you on this medication for itching, and I knew what it was, and I said, whoa, you're putting me on medication for the itching. Have I got cholestasis of pregnancy? And he was like, quite shocked that I knew the word, you know. And he was like, yeah, well, yeah, you've got a few things going on, and yeah. And I was like, what this condition basically does, cholestasis of pregnancy, guys, is your bile acid. We've all got it. Well, the levels rise too high, and then they seep into your blood, into your liver, into your blood, and then the itching is from your blood. That is why it's so intense, and you can't get rid of it because it's your blood making you itch. So I knew that's what I had. The medication's called ursodeoxycholic acid, or Ursodol they call it for short. So anyway, he's put me on that stuff. I've been on it for nearly 2 weeks, and I can honestly say the itching has subsided immensely. I had sores like everywhere. I look like I've been bitten, like ravaged by bugs, but it was just this condition. That's all like cleared up now. I'm clearing up nicely. There's still a few little patches here and there, but you can't really see. It's not really bad at all now. It's cleared it up, and I noticed that I'm sleeping a little better, I'm not waking up scratching my skin off like I was before. I was literally scratching to the point where I was making myself bleed. It is intense and you can't help it. And nobody's saying stop itching is going to help, because you can't. You physically can't. It is just horrible. But these medications has reduced the itching so much. It's such a relief. And my stools, I'm sorry again, TMI, but have returned to a normal colour. They're no longer yellow. My urine is no longer brown or orange. It has gone back to a normal light pale colour. So I'm hoping and praying that that is all good signs that everything's working and everything's levelling down. I did ask him my levels, because I speak to a few women on a pregnancy internet thing. It's called Baby and Bump. So we're all like pregnant together, and there's a few women on there that's had it, and they said, what are your levels? What are your bile acid numbers? I said, I don't know. We don't really get told the numbers here in the UK. Whereas you guys in America get told the numbers of like everything for your bloods. I'm like, I don't know. Well, she said to me, well, you know, your levels are supposed to be around a 6, but when it gets to a 10, then that's cholestasis. So yeah, that's when they put you on the medication. So I was like, okay. So I asked him, I was like, what are my bile acid numbers? They're a 16. So yeah. He said they can go so much higher at the moment. Then that's not too high. They can get up into like double into the 3 figures. I was like, wow, that's through the roof. So yeah, but obviously I've been to Birmingham today, guys, to the liver hospital where I had my transplant. I've seen another liver specialist. I've had my bloods done today. I will get the results either Monday or Tuesday morning. So please, y'all pray for me that the blood test results come back so much more stable, that the rejection, is back to normal, my liver function is back to normal, and that the bile acid numbers have come right down back to like a more normal, stable level. I will have to have this baby early. I will be having him early. I've already been told that. I've already prepared myself for that. Obviously, what we don't want is him coming too early, because one of the risks of having this condition is like stillbirth and also preterm labor. So it's scary, guys. And I'm not going to lie, when I got diagnosed with this, I hit rock bottom, because I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my baby. I'm going to lose my baby boy. I was a mess. I got depressed. I got low. And I was just a mess. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to function. I didn't want to get dressed. I didn't want to do anything. But I started to realize that I was being attacked by the enemy. And I spoke to a few people, and it was like, yeah, I think you're being attacked. Can you read Psalms? And I started to read Psalms and just pray. And, I pray anyway every single day, but I started to read Psalms, and Psalms brought me great comfort, great joy, great comfort, and has helped me a lot.